morning, everyone. It is Thursday, January the 13th, 2022. I am Pearson Bowen, and this is the CBC Morning Report. Predictions of over 1,000 cases of COVID-19 a day could already be a reality here in Barbados. That's the suggestion coming from the Executive Director of the Caribbean Public Health Agency, Dr. Joy St. John, saying it's linked to the rapid spread of the Omicron variant. She's been analyzing recent COVID-19 predictions, with research showing that Barbados could register anywhere between 1,500 and 3,500 new cases daily. Dr. St. John admits she's not aware of the local testing strategy, but believes scores of people have contracted COVID but remain untested.
I believe those numbers are including those who have not been tested. So there may be 1,500 to 1,000, 3,000 in the population in a day. So people may have contracted COVID and not been tested. So our numbers hovering around 500 suggests to me that we may be hitting those numbers or getting close to hitting the numbers of 1,500 plus. With circulation in the community.
The CAFRA director also explains why it's too early to say if Omicron is a milder strain of COVID.
Let's see what it does in the Caribbean before we say it's mild. Yes, in other jurisdictions, they may have seen fewer persons hospitalized and fewer people who died. But let's see what happens when it comes to the Caribbean because of our high prevalence of chronic diseases, even in the very young. And the other thing, of course, is that our immunization coverage is nowhere as good as it should be in most of the countries. And that is definitely a factor in those jurisdictions where the immunization rates are higher. They are seeing more of the persons who are partially immunized or not immunized at all, making up their severe hospitalization cases and deaths.
Meanwhile, over 50 million people worldwide contracted COVID in the past week. That's a new record, and deaths are also on the rise.
Let's be clear. While Omicron causes less severe disease than Delta, it remains a dangerous virus, particularly for those who are unvaccinated. Almost 50,000 deaths a week is 50,000 deaths too many.
Australia, France, Germany, Italy and Norway are among the countries which have posted their highest ever daily numbers of new infections in the past 24 hours. In the US, hospitalizations have increased by up to 33% and deaths by around 40% in the past week. Health officials expect the cases driven by the Omicron variant to peak in the coming weeks. On Monday, the US reported more than 1.3 million new infections, the highest ever daily tally for any country in the world.
This is the CBC Morning Report. We'll have more COVID-19 updates after this break. 2 Barbadian men have lost their battle with COVID-19. An 81-year-old man who was fully vaccinated succumbed to the virus at the Harrison Point isolation facility on January the 11th. A 52-year-old man also passed away from that facility on January the 12th. He was unvaccinated. Their deaths bring the number of casualties from the viral illness now to 268. Meanwhile, Barbados has recorded 516 new COVID-19 cases. That's according to the Best dos Santos Public Health Laboratory after conducting 2,403 tests on Tuesday. The new cases include 243 males and 273 females. They also consist 87 people under the age of 18. There are now 106 people in isolation facilities and 3,775 people in home isolation. The National Trade Union Center wants the Trinidad and Tobago government to implement a vaccine injury compensation fund to provide relief to citizens who may experience adverse effects after getting inoculated. This is just one of their demands, as they claim that several people have been negatively affected after taking the COVID-19 jab. We do have a report now from TTT.
The National Trade Union Centre says it will send several proposals to government on its own vaccine policy and remains adamant that workers should not be made to get vaccinated to go out to work from next Monday. General Secretary Michael Anisette says the suggestions will soon be sent to the Prime Minister and Attorney General, and he wants a fund set up for anyone who may experience adverse effects after getting vaccinated.
We must establish, let me repeat it, a vaccine injury compensation fund to provide relief to any and all citizens who may experience loss of life, limb or livelihood as a consequence of the COVID-19 inoculation.
Mr. Anisette believes a protocol for adverse reporting must be implemented for absolute transparency.
Establish a stringent protocol for the reporting of adverse events and injuries, supported by a functional vaccine adverse event reporting system, which is publicly accessible and viewable online.
NATOC also wants government to ensure a person does not have to disclose their vaccine status, even to employers.
The medical information should not be disclosed, we are saying that, to employers or to any other member of the public, because this serves, in our humble view, no other purpose than to facilitate coercion, victimization, and the loss of your job.
Mr. Anisette adds that safe zones should also be abolished, saying it gives a false sense of security since people can still get infected. NATOC President James Lambert says the union stand firm that vaccination remain a choice and continues to urge all public servants to exercise their right next Monday.
Go to work on the 17th.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has admitted to attending a garden party at his Downing Street residence during the coronavirus lockdown in May 2020, in breach of his government's own pandemic rules. Addressing Parliament yesterday, Johnson apologized to the public for his actions, but deflected opposition demands for his resignation.
Boris Johnson has never been under such pressure from his own party, the opposition and the people of Britain who elected him. The question, did he attend a summer party in the garden of number 10 Downing Street in May 2020? The whole country was in lockdown. Around 40 people appear to have been in breach of COVID restrictions. First, he tried to address the British people.
I want to apologise. I know the rage they feel with me and with the government I lead when they think that in Downing Street itself the rules are not being properly followed by the people who make the rules. And when I went into that garden just after 6 on the 20th of May 2020 to thank groups of staff before going back into my office 25 minutes later to continue working, I believed implicitly that this was a work event. But Mr. Speaker, with hindsight, I should have sent everyone back inside.
after months of deceit and deception, the pathetic spectacle of a man who's run out of road. His defence that he didn't realise he was at a party. It is so ridiculous that it's actually offensive to the British public. He's finally been forced to admit what everyone knew, that when the whole country was locked down, he was hosting boozy parties in Downing Street. Yes. Is he now going to do the decent thing and resign?
Johnson didn't say yes or no.
Prime Minister. I want to repeat that I thought it was a work event and
apologising again and telling opposition leader Keir Starmer he should wait for the results of an inquiry into revelations of several parties in Downing Street and Whitehall.
I regret very much that we did not do things differently that evening. Mr. Speaker,
the Labour leader persisted, talking of the deep offence caused to relatives of people dying from COVID at the time and of the millions who were obeying the rules. Starmer repeatedly rounded on Johnson.
The party's over, Prime Minister. The only question is, will the British public kick him out, will his party kick him out, or will he do the decent thing and resign?
This crisis is being called Partygate by the media. Johnson is trying to ride it out. Much rest, though, with the outcome of the inquiry into Downing Street and Whitehall parties and what the police do about the latest revelation. More rest, though, on whether the Conservative Party decides Johnson is now a liability and has to go.
Robust discussion indeed in the British House of Parliament. We'll take a break here and we're coming back with more on the Morning Report. Now for news on the campaign trail as Barbados decides 2022, people living in St. Philip can expect improved infrastructure and service at two of the government's medical facilities in that parish. This promise has been made by Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley, who says individuals in the east can look forward to improvements like those in the north of the island.
The St. Joseph Outpatients Clinic and the St. Andrew Outpatients Clinic were done. But what many of you may not know is that work is also being done at the St. Philip District Hospital and the Polyclinic, recognizing that the conditions which we inherited were less than acceptable for you, the people of St. Philip. And I am aware of it because in preparation for meeting with other officials in December, I took a full brief from the Ministry of Health, and I'm aware that the repairs will finish by the end of March of this year.
President of the Democratic Labour Party and St. Lucie candidate Verla De Pisa is advising Barbadians the voting process may take longer in light of the COVID-19 protocols. She says no consideration has been made for an extension of the hours despite the current health crisis and has urged all eligible individuals to vote on Election Day.
Don't mind the circumstances in which this election is called. Take good care of yourself. Guard your health in the next week. Go early, because the process is likely to be longer than before, with all of the cleaning and sanitizing that is likely to happen. They didn't make any provisions for longer hours for voting. Don't lose your right to vote because you turned up at the last minute.
A suggestion: Barbados needs a comprehensive national health and wellness plan now more than ever. It's coming from Vice President of the Alliance Party for Progress and candidate for St. Philip West, Lynette Eastman. She says it must not focus only on the issues surrounding the COVID-19, but also on Barbadians taking their health more seriously.
The pandemic showed us that if we thought that health and wellness was a joke, it taught us that in order to protect ourselves from any of these viruses, the ones that have passed or the ones that will come, that this country has to focus on health and wellness. And that's not a soft topic. That's a hard topic. Because I honestly believe that if we were healthier, we would cut our healthcare bill significantly.
The Bajan Free Party, or BFP, says it's in the process of working out a plan that would see an increase in pensions for the elderly. This is according to candidate for Christchurch East Central, Janet Eiffel. Speaking during the BFP's spot meeting at Queensland, Ms. Eiffel said more needs to be done to help the older generation and vulnerable families. She also believes this transformation of the welfare department is key.
We are working on having increase in pensions for the elderly because the cost of living has gone up tremendously, and we want the elderly persons to be in a situation where they can live comfortably. We would like to restructure the welfare department, as in throughout the COVID time, persons have been added to the welfare system where they were given support from the welfare. Some of those persons no longer need that coverage.
Well, as we come down to January the 19th, when Barbados decides 2022, Barbadians are making their predictions. Crystal Hoyt has a sample.
With elections just a week away, candidates from the Barbados Labour Party, the Democratic Labour Party, the Alliance Party for Progress, Barbados Integrity Movement, Barbados Sovereignty Party, Bajan Free Party, and independent candidates are canvassing in communities from St. Lucie to St. Philip ahead of polling day on January 19th. On the ground, some Barbadians are projecting Barbados Labour Party retaining the government, but others are confident that come next week, Barbados will have new leadership.
The Democratic Labour Party going to receive a good few seats.
Come on, Bear James, you don't change proper leadership. Barbados was always known for proper leadership from since post-independence. And the best leader Barbados have right now at the present moment is Mia Mormali.
I am a strong Democratic Labour Party supporter. And I don't feel that the Barbados Labour Party will lose. I know that the Democratic Labour Party would gain some seats. I think about 6.
I believe the Barbados Labour Party will be back the government, but not by the amount of seats that they had before.
Barbados Labour Party, they put down for it. 30 love.
Next week, Wednesday, Barbadians will be going to the polls. Crystal Hoyt, CBC News.
Parents in the Bahamas have highlighted to education officials some of the challenges their children are facing with the online learning system. They were candid with education officials who visited Freetown in an attempt to address gaps with online learning. We have a report now from Our News.
41-year-old Stacia Cartwright is unemployed and has to juggle daily life while helping her children with online learning. Days like today, she is stressed because the internet was disconnected. At this point, the mother is eager for schools to resume face-to-face learning.
It going in and out sometimes along with the weather and whatever.
These are the children Minister of Education Glenys Hannah Martin wants to reach. She joined teachers and other staff of Uriah Maffey Primary School for a community walkabout today to find out why many students aren't participating in virtual lessons.
There are children who have not been online for 2 years, and they're out there. And they're out there nationwide, and they're out there in this community. And we need to go out there today, raise awareness to this community and to the nation that we are going to go out there and fight for our children. We're going to find them. We're going to bring them in. We're going to give them an opportunity in this life. We're going to do it.
The COVID-19 pandemic has kept students out of the classroom for months and in some cases over a year. It doesn't help that some of them have had challenges accessing the virtual learning platform. Back in October, Director of Education Marcellus Taylor revealed that only 70% of students were attending online classes. 43-year-old Michelle Adderley says her children have missed online classes and really need tablets. Today, she registered with the school to access the new devices.
Sometimes I get on, sometimes I don't get on. And I feel it was a problem with me because I want my children to be on time with their schoolwork. And then the tablet now wasn't working.
Following a tour of public schools,
A United States judge has rejected a bid by the United Kingdom's Prince Andrew to dismiss Virginia Giuffre's lawsuit accusing the Duke of York of sexually abusing her when she was 17 years old. In a decision made public yesterday, New York Judge Lewis Kaplan said in his ruling that the British royal's motion to dismiss the complaint was denied in all respects.
Virginia Giuffre says she was forced to have sex with the royal when she was 17 years old after being trafficked by convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The prince's lawyers said she signed a deal with Epstein that prevented her from suing him. Now the case will be able to proceed in New York. Prince Andrew strenuously denies the allegations against him. Let's get more from Gabriel Elizondo. He's live for us in New York. Gabe, are we going to see Prince Andrew in a New York courtroom then?
The short answer to your question is probably not. But this is certainly uncharted territory. It's not often, of course, that you would see a British royal facing such serious legal issues in the United States, such as what he faces. Let me just go through it, because this is a little complicated. The first answer to your question is there probably will be a trial now, given the latest ruling here by this judge, a trial that would probably happen here in New York in federal court later this year. The judge has already set a date of mid-July for lawyers on both sides to start revealing documents to each other of what they plan to present in court. So a trial won't be until much later this year, but it does appear that this could now very well be going to a trial because of the latest judge's ruling here, and that's something that Prince Andrew and his lawyers certainly wanted to avoid. But does he have diplomatic immunity? That might be a question that you're asking yourself. He does not, actually. The only people that would have diplomatic immunity would be the Queen and her immediate household, and he doesn't fall under the immediate household umbrella, so no diplomatic immunity. But would he be forced to be at the trial here in the United States, in New York? The answer to that is no, and that's because this is a civil case and not a criminal case. In a civil case, Britain or the UK could not extradite him to the United States for a civil case. It would only be for a criminal case, which this is not. So he would only have to be physically at the trial if he was in the United States at the time, which we don't expect him to be back here given that for any reason. But this is still, for Prince Andrew and his legal team, a huge setback. They haven't commented on it so far, but we did hear from Virginia Giuffre's lawyers who see this as a big victory. They put out a statement saying this is an important step in Virginia Giuffre's heroic and determined pursuit of justice as a survivor of sex trafficking. This all goes back to her claim, which the prince Andrew denies that she was sexually assaulted by the Prince Andrew on 3 different times in 2001, something that he denies. The Prince certainly wanted this to all go away, certainly just the opposite now. We'll be hearing a lot more about this case in the coming months.
Well, in sports now, West Indies assistant coach Roddy Estwick says the team is refocused and ready to face Ireland in the second one-day international today at Sabina Park in Jamaica. That match was forced to be rescheduled from Tuesday owing to a number of positive COVID-19 cases in the Irish camp on Monday.
We had disruptions in Pakistan, we had disruptions before. It's all about staying professional. It's all about making sure that when you're going to play, that you're ready. You got to make sure that your preparation is spot on. I thought we had a very, very good preparation today. The boys look focused. Obviously, it's a lot younger team, and people are willing to share knowledge and to find out more and having more discussion. So once you can keep them focused, that's the key. You've got to make sure, and it's up to the management group, you know, to make sure that the players are comfortable and the players are ready to go and play cricket. So the areas that we still need to improve on, I think the running between the wickets have gotten better as well. You know, it's a long time that we've actually ran two threes in a 50-over game. So the encouraging signs.
Well, today's second one-day international is set to begin at 10:30 Barbados time. The report card on the West Indies' performance in the first ODI against Ireland is encouraging. A 24-run victory with a new-look team suggests the players could grow from strength to strength as they look ahead to future matches. CBC's Damien Best has this perspective.
Any total north of 200...
Damien, let's take a look at our forecast conditions for Barbados today and tonight. Information compiled by the Meteorological Office. At the moment, we're 25.5 degrees Celsius under fair conditions. The winds are coming from the east at 22 kilometers an hour. Heading to the sea today, expect a low tide at 7:45 this evening and the next high tide at 18 minutes to 1 this afternoon. Seas are today predicted to be smooth to moderate in open water, swells ranging between 1 and 1.5 meters, but remaining quite steady. So the outlook for Barbados today, partly sunny with a few brief isolated light showers. And for tonight, we're forecasting that it should be a mix of clear skies and clouds with a few brief scattered light showers. And that's today's Morning Report. I'm Pearson Bowen. Morning Barbados starts now.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
And good morning, everyone. Good morning indeed. Welcome to today, Thursday, January the 13th, 2022. That's my name. I'm Pearson Bowen, welcoming all of you here in Barbados and elsewhere across this world who are watching us on our YouTube channel or our Facebook streams. Always grateful for your company indeed. Welcome. And today's Thursday, so you know we're going to be sharing with you the excellence of our young people. We'd also today be looking at when two community groups come together, how it can redound to the benefit of our young people and their education. So we'll be talking to the Pineville and the Haynesville community groups who have come up with a plan that they can infuse greatness in their communities as well. We'll meet a virtual artist who's doing some phenomenal work, and what is so fascinating is that her teacher, while she was being interviewed, steered her into a different direction and she's loving it. We'll talk to her about that as well. We'll meet a Paralympian from Barbados this morning, a young man who's excelling at his sport of swimming, and we'll meet some footballers as well. So a whole lot to expect today. Plus, I'm going to be asking you yet again today, as we have some fun, to guess that location on this island. We want to see how well you know Barbados. So look out for that opportunity a little later on too. But let's get started this morning by looking at the big initiative that's been launched or will be launched by the Pinelands and Haynesville youth groups. The Pinelands Creative Workshop represented this morning by Sophia Graves-Broom. She's the Chief Executive Officer. And from Haynesville, we have the founder, Peter Skeet. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning, Pearson.
Good morning. Good to see you again, Sophia, as well. Now, when two community groups come together, it could only be for the good of the nation. So, Sophia, starting with you, why did you all think it was important for you to team up?
Good morning, Barbados. Good morning, Pearson. It is always a pleasure. Pinelands has always had as its one of its key strategies in terms of partnership of all types. And having a partnership with Haynesville and Peter and his wonderful team is not new. This is something that we would have started years ago in terms of helping with the rebuilding of the Haynesville community and working side and side with Peter. Rodney Grant would have led that particular initiative at the time to really get use Pinelands model to help reshape the community, which was having its challenges at the time with the police and other and other issues. But so it's nothing new. It's one of the things that we've always done as an organization, whether it's Haynesville, we work with Deacons, we work with Silver Hill, Gold Hill. So the organization is not new to collaboration and fostering strategic partnerships where necessary to make sure that we can do what we do best.
So Peter, what are some of the benefits you've seen coming out of that partnership and collaboration in your respective community in Haynesville?
Well, again, good morning to you, Pearson. Good morning to Barbados and Sophia as well. Well, you must bear in mind that the communities of Haynesville and Pinelands share similar characteristics. Firstly, they're all from part of the government housing estate, and as Sophie would have rightly said, we ourselves would have faced the same challenges to which Pinelands would have faced in terms of our young people not having access to programs, and that start lending to some levels of antisocial behavior. So what we've seen over the years is we've collaborated with culture. Of course, Haynesville is now part of the Barbados landscape in terms of its performing arts. And we would have collaborated with that organization for many years in areas of culture. And now we are collaborating in areas of education, where we are seeking to provide that level of opportunities for our young people to keep them focused and to build their capacity in the same way to which Thailand's would have responded many years ago to their respective community. And we've partnered with not only with them, but there are a number of agencies that we collaborated as well. And Thailand's would have done the same. So we've seen significant benefits in terms of providing those opportunities for our young people to steer them away and to develop them in a holistic way. And in so doing, we have been able to, over the years, to improve the profile of the Hainesville community. Yes, there are still challenges, but at least we are able to offer meaningful alternatives to our young people.
Sophie, as he's been calling you, Sophia, I want to talk to you now a little bit about this project that you're launching today. It's about a multidimensional approach to resilience and adaptability, or otherwise known as MARA. So what does that compose so that people understand better when you come to them as individuals in the community, how it translates into benefit for them?
Okay, well, very simply, during COVID and even before that, having engaged in a number of community interventions, which this one is made possible through the support of the Maria Holden Memorial Trust, we would have seen through our own communication on the ground with Peter, with the research that was coming out during COVID and before, and through the development agencies as well, that there's still a serious gap in terms of technology, serious gap in terms of educational needs. We are seeing serious gaps in terms of our capturing our intangible cultural heritage. And so this program was designed among that, and to aid in a rethinking of our young people using the design and thinking approach and other new methodologies to see if we can provide our younger generation with an approach that more suits their characteristic, so that we can now plan for a future that we all want, where they now can bring new skills, have new persons who are more geared to handle technology, doing, attending to the advancement of our country. So this program speaks to that kind of development and development of capital of our people. So it is a way that we can see as us giving back to our people, to our citizens, to Barbados in general, in terms of, as we speak about building back better. This is one initiative that speaks to that and fits comfortably with it in terms of what the direction of the country needs to go. IT has been now be the priority, as it have been dragging behind before. We are still a little bit behind. We have work to do in terms of brand new technologies and new approaches to advance what we are doing. But I think this program and programs like this that needs to be on the ground to bring our people along, because our resource, our capital is in our human beings. And therefore, we have to arm them to prepare for the future that we want. And this program speaks to developing that kind of thinking and the behavior that is needed as we start to map out the future that all of us want for our communities and our people and the country that we are all working together to build.
Peter, Sophie said, it's looking at the characteristics of the young people in the respective communities and building up programs that would be adaptable to that. From your perspective in Hainesville, what are these characteristics that your young people have, and what are the programs that you think they need to get involved in, or that this project brings, that can help them adapt and be a lot more resilient?
Well, this one in particular, the after-school program provides for them in a meaningful way. It helps to enhance and to build on what they're currently doing at their respective schools. What we would have found at the starting of last term in our moving around into the community, we recognized that a number of our young folks were without access to devices to facilitate their online schooling. Equally so, a number of families were challenged in terms of the access to Wi-Fi. So given that deficiency, you can imagine that numerous young people would ultimately be left behind. Now, let's be fair, government cannot do it alone, and the Prime Minister has been articulating that. She has always called on community-based organizations to step up and to be and to fill that gap where government is unable to provide all of the resources needed. So what we would have done is that we would have received some access to Wi-Fi through another charitable trust, and we would have reached out to some of our persons, there persons that who live in the community. I need to mention Solomon Ben. We would have reached out to him, and he would have provided some tablets. He would have reached out to Jennifer Walker and other agencies who would have provided tablets to us. And what we would have done is brought some 10 young persons into the Haynesville Police Force, and we were able to assist them to facilitate their online schooling in circumstances, as I said before, where they were unable to have that access both to the Wi-Fi and to the device, and that has gone tremendously well. So each day they're there at the police force, engaging, being online to their school, because it is our young people that from these working class areas that will have the challenge with their online school. And that is supplemented with the aftercare program, the after school program, where we have qualified teachers coming in to assist them and to build on what they're doing with respect to their online school. And that has helped tremendously well, because it has provided those that who don't have the access with that training, and even in circumstances where there was access to both devices, there were instances where the home environment did not lend itself to that online school environment. Parents, some of them are at work looking to make ends meet, and obviously the children would have been left at home unattended. So they're there on a day-to-day basis, being facilitated by responsible volunteers through the support of the finance, because they must admit that without that financial support, this really is an enhancement to what we would have done over the years, and particularly so necessary in this COVID environment where our young people are away from school, but still we must need to find a mechanism to engage them in a safe environment, adherent to all of the protocols that the COVID unit has placed on us.
Indeed. So, Sophia, the launch is today, and give us a sense of what it is that you're launching and how the launch will unfold today, so that when they see you, they understand why you're there.
Okay, but it's just a media walkthrough. We just want to share with the community and share with the people that despite that we have challenges, and as Peter said, we are trying to fill gaps and deploying resources where is necessary, and that's our main thought process. Because in development, you look for the gaps, and this is where you build your initiatives from. And this is what we are speaking to, whether it's in the Pine, we have our online programs, and Haynesville have the face-to-face programs. So we are moving in the direction of filling those gaps that we are seeing emerging as a result of COVID, as a result of poverty, as a result of various social issues. And this program starts to address this in a very practical way. So whilst we are in Haynesville this morning, we just want to share with the students and the media what we are doing despite COVID, because in my opinion, I don't think sufficient on the groundwork in terms of development agencies. We do the research, but the translation to actual work on the ground is slow in coming. But this initiative through Maria Holder, we have been able to start some work from early as last year, September, October, and now we are continuing into our second term. And I must say, this morning also speaks and give credit to the hard work of the tutors who have committed to this program, where we are now seeing from reports of the children, despite the challenges, and with this support, we are seeing improved performance in school with their grades and so forth. And we are seeing students now in a better position to perform well at the CXC level, although we know the CXC process for the students at that level has been very challenging. And it's still being debated at this point in time. So this program is about filling those social gaps that we see sometimes are left to chance, but we can't prepare for our future if our children are left behind because of these technological gaps and various forms of equality and not having the support, because there's still a large adjustment to being online and not face-to-face and able to adapt to that environment. So the challenge the stressors are there for the students, and including this program, we also try to deal with the softer things in terms of how to deal with conflict, how still to deal with the mental health stressors that some students are experiencing in terms of anxiety. So when we speak into the media, we are talking about a necessary intervention this morning that we need in communities, and it allows us to see the translations of research in a very practical way to the people that need it most.
I just love it. It's such a wonderful way to collaborate, two strong communities helping each other. And I'm sure I know what you do there, Sophia, at Pinelands Creative Workshop. You're happy to help other communities as well. So congratulations on the initiative, both of you. And I really hope it brings tremendous success to both communities, or to every community across the island who can benefit from the initiative, the multidimensional approach to resilience and adaptability. Launching today, folks. Thanks to both of you, and I wish you much success.
Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome indeed. Thank you all. Thank you so much indeed. Now we're going to take a break here, and we're coming back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Thirteen minutes now to go to 7 o'clock, and our next guest, our first exceptional young person today, is 22 years old and has been in love, listen to it, in love with art since she could hold a pencil. Her name is Stephanie Jemmett. Good morning to you, Stephanie.
Good morning, Pearson.
How are you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How is this love affair with art going? Is it still strong?
It's still strong, very much so. And right now I'm at BCC, Barbados College, and I'm pursuing my bachelor's.
Wow.
So it's been a bit difficult to balance my own work and schoolwork, but it's still very much strong.
But this passion for art, you know, where did it start? Who is it that inspired you to say, I can do this, I will do this?
I can only say that it was from a very long time. Since I was 3 years old, I would just scribble up my Ladybird books, and my mom used to get very upset with me doing that, and it was just in me for a very long time.
You spoke about your grandmother as well. You know, tell me a little about this relationship. Yes, you see your face light up there. Tell me about this relationship with your grandmother and the influence that relationship has had on you and your living thus far.
Me and my grandmother, we're very close. Actually, she's a very big fan of yours. You might remember her from Bible Trivia. Cheryl's. She went by the name Cheryl's.
It's my girl Cheryl's, that's right. Small world. Say hi to your granny for me, please do.
Well, she actually said good morning to you.
Okay.
From young, me and my grandmother were very close, and she has a love for the garden. So a lot of my work somehow started to go towards flowers, and I think it came from her. So we're just very close. So
Such a small world. I have not heard Cheryl's in such a long time, but it's good to know she's still doing well and inspiring you in the way that she has. And so you've decided then art is your passion, art is your love, and you shall pursue it. And what I love is that you've had your family's support all the way through. But there was a part of your story that I also think was quite interesting. When you went to interview at the community college, what happened?
well, first I went to Commermere, and my tutor at the time, Susan Allen Ford, she had inspired me to start to look into art, to doing art, and I gave it a go, and I applied to Barbados Community College, but I applied for fashion design as well as visual arts, and I hadn't heard back from the fashion design department. And during the interview, Russell Hatcher, the head of the department at the time, he saw my love for art, and he was just like, "No, you are coming to our visual arts program, not fashion." So he just took me from my decision, and I haven't regretted it since.
Oh, there are a couple pieces just behind you. Are those your works of art?
Yes, yes.
Oh boy. Go ahead.
Um, this one here actually was in the Caribbean Art Gallery. So I had entered it into the Carmichael show last year.
Did it do? What was the response to it? What was the response to it?
It got a lot of good feedback from, especially from Instagram. So it's very interesting that Instagram can be used as a tool to get your work out there. And actually, I've had people from all over the world ask me about it. And this one guy reached out to me, and he told me it reminded him of his hometown in Lagos. So I thought that was really interesting. That we
the similarities indeed. And you know what you've done through that, I think, is capture a moment in time in our history that we immediately recognize and we immediately connect with, but in time to come, there are some who will not have known it. And so you've now documented it for all eternity, and you've done it it looks so real. Is that also a critical part of when you're crafting your art to make it, it's almost like 3D, to pop up, to lift off the page and be as real as possible?
I would definitely say so. It has been a major part of my style that I'm working towards. I've been interested in realism, but also still mixing it with a little bit of fantasy, not too real. Trying to just go in between those two worlds.
Why do you want to do it that way and not hold one or the other?
I think it would have to do a lot with our year, no, our age group, where you have two worlds, the contemporary art world, and then older artists who were more interested in realism. So I guess because of my age, I've found myself stuck between those two periods. So it's kind of interesting for me to still hold on to aspects of realism, but still dabble with contemporary art world. So.
Have you ever seen the Antiques Roadshow, that show on TV? No, say no, again. Because I'm asking that specifically because when I look at the pieces of art that you have there for sure, and I'm again looking down the road, you know, there's going to be somebody at some point who takes it to the Antiques Roadshow for someone to assess it. And then they will look at it and say, you know, this was painted by a lady by the name of Stephanie Jemmett from Barbados and the brush stroke, and they then value it. So I'm just so excited for your future, really. What do you see yourself, that future, to be in art?
I would like to go bigger, a lot bigger paintings. I would like to have my own art show, my own exhibition as well, and to share my space. I think that's a major part of my goal, my long-term goal, is to have my work also be within a space where other people could come and have their own paintings and just feeding off of other people's energy. I think that that's very important for me to
We're
share my
looking,
space.
we're watching the screens and we're looking at some of the great work that you've been doing. I mean, to know that you're the granddaughter of Shirls, it makes me so happy today. But here it is, your work that we're watching right there now. You're working in pen, you're working in paint, you're working in different media. So which one do you think it is that you're most comfortable with?
I definitely painting.
So,
Mostly acrylic. I work with acrylic paints at the moment. However, I would like to oil painting eventually. Yeah.
So you said you want to be able to eventually one day have your own gallery. Would painting of murals and the like, would that be a part of your focus as well?
Yes, I think so. I would definitely like to start to go into murals. Right now I'm just working on my own mural in my own space, and hopefully it would start to go into more work and
Yes.
just reaching out. And I'm in awe at the murals in Barbados already.
Yes.
So hopefully.
I want to talk to some young girls who are watching today who also find themselves doodling and scrawling and not feeling as if the parents appreciate what they do. What encouragement would you want to give to them today?
I would tell them stick to painting, stick to drawing, stick to your art, your medium of work of art, and be expressive as possible. And don't allow social media or other people's views to impact you too much. You have to be very confident in it and consistent. It's very hard sometimes, but you could be consistent and yeah, just continue to be within the art world, because I think that's very important as well. Surrounding yourself with other artists, so that whenever you feel like you don't have the fuel to start being propelled, you can just lean on your art friends, because I know that that's very important, especially during school.
Yes,
It's
yes,
been very important
indeed.
to have our
You know,
interaction.
a lot of people are commenting on our social media page. If you could see it, wow, awesome work. I'm always looking for pics to bring home of my hometown Barbados. Love your pictures. And there are people who are obviously very, very proud of you this morning as we are here. Cheryl's granddaughter, excellent work. Blessings in your endeavors. There they are. They're commenting about you. So tell me a little bit about, this. Your relationships with others, naturally, you have a heart, you paint from your heart. And you recently would have done a tribute to a young man. The story was very riveting for all of us, who went out one day to see and his body was later recovered. Was he a friend of yours? Or did the story move you?
No, he was a close friend and cousin, actually. So family. So
And so you
when I had
go ahead. Go ahead.
sorry, when I had heard the news, I didn't know how to process it, and my uncle had this surfboard laying around for years, and I know he had a love for the water and surfing and fishing. So immediately I was just like, that's what I have to do. That this is my way of keeping his memories alive, and
Yes.
it was just my way of doing it.
That's a beautiful way to pay tribute to your cousin, indeed, and it's so beautifully done and tastefully too. So as you can see, there are people who have an interest in your art. You showed at the gallery in Speightstown. So where can people, if they want to, and I hope you have some for sale, where can people now get copies of your art? David Thompson, what a name, right? He says, I'm very impressed with this lady art. It looks quite mature for such a young lady. Carry on. You're doing very well. That's what he writes. So where can people get copies of your work if they care to have it?
You could follow me on Instagram, gem.arts. So that's my Instagram page. You can also just DM me through Instagram.
Okay, so
Our actions and WhatsApp.
all right, so gem.arts, Gemm.arts is her Instagram page, or you can also, is it photo.gem as well? Is that also yours?
Oh yes, that's my photography page. I've
Okay.
been dabbling with photography as well.
You're such an artist. You're such an artist. But everybody has loved your work so far. And for those of you who are watching from afar, go to her Instagram page as well, gem.arts, Gemm.arts. And you can message her there and you can engage with her. I'm sure she'll be able to do a piece or two for you as well. And just get the brilliance. This young lady here, Stephanie Jemmett, is going to go far. And as I mentioned, the Antiques Roadshow, decades from now, they will be bringing up your pieces of work and saying, wow, this is fantastic from that period of time. And it's hugely valued because we value it today. So much so we wanted to have you on this morning, Stephanie, this morning, and to salute you as one of our exceptional young people. There we are, browsing her Instagram page. That's what you will find. Some of the brilliance of Stephanie Jemmett. Note the name, don't ever forget it. And as you do, support it indeed. Stephanie, congratulations on all you've done thus far. We look forward to even greater things from you because you're still quite young, 22 years old, and this love affair with arts is strong. So we wanted today to celebrate how exceptional you truly are. Thank you for joining us. And don't forget, say hi to Cheryl from me here.
I won't forget. Please watch.
Good, good. Thank you very much. Take care indeed. Morning Barbados continues right after this.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
2.5 minutes now after 7 o'clock. Let's take a look at the news again. Predictions of over 1,000 cases of COVID-19 a day could already be a reality here in Barbados. It's a suggestion coming from the Executive Director of the Caribbean Public Health Agency, Dr. Joyce John, saying it's linked to the rapid spread of the Omicron variant. She's been analyzing recent COVID-19 predictions, with research showing Barbados could register anywhere between 1,500 and 3,500 new cases daily. Dr. St. John admits she's not aware of the local testing strategy, but believes scores of people have contracted COVID but remain untested.
I believe those numbers are including those who have not been tested. So there may be 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 in the population in a day. So people may have contracted COVID and not been tested. So our numbers hovering around 500 suggests to me that we may be hitting those numbers or getting close to hitting the numbers of 1,500 plus with circulation in the community.
The CARFA director also explains why it's too early to say if Omicron is a milder strain of COVID.
Let's see what it does in the Caribbean before we say it's mild. Yes, in other jurisdictions, they may have seen fewer persons hospitalized and fewer people who died. But let's see what happens when it comes to the Caribbean because of our high prevalence of chronic diseases, even in the very young. And the other thing, of course, is that our immunization coverage is nowhere as good as it should be in most of the countries. And that is definitely a factor in those jurisdictions where the immunization rates are higher. They are seeing more of the persons who are partially immunized or not immunized at all, making up their severe hospitalization cases and deaths.
2 Barbadian men have lost their battle with COVID-19. An 81-year-old man who was fully vaccinated succumbed to the virus at the Harrison Point facility on the 11th. A 52-year-old man who passed away from the same facility died on the 12th. He was unvaccinated. Their deaths bring the number of casualties from the illness to 268. Meanwhile, Barbados has recorded 516 new COVID-19 cases. That's according to the Best dos Santos Public Health Laboratory after conducting 2,403 tests on Tuesday. The new cases include 243 males and 273 females. They also say 87 people under the age of 18 have been captured. There are now 106 people in isolation facilities and 3,775 people in home isolation. People living in St. Philip can expect improved infrastructure and service at 2 of the government's medical facilities in that parish. The promise from Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley, who says individuals in the east can look forward to improvements like those in the north of the island.
The St. Joseph Outpatients Clinic and the St. Andrew Outpatients Clinic were done. But what many of you may not know is that work is also being done at the St. Philip District Hospital and the Polyclinic, recognizing that the conditions which we inherited were less than acceptable for you, the people of St. Philip. And I am aware of it, because in preparation for meeting with other officials in December, I took a full brief from the Ministry of Health, and I'm aware that the repairs will finish by the end of March of this year.
President of the Democratic Labour Party and candidate for St. Lucie, Verla de Pisa, is advising Barbadians the voting process may take longer in light of the COVID-19 protocols. She says no consideration has been made for an extension of the hours despite the current health crisis, and has urged all eligible individuals to vote early on election day.
Don't mind the circumstances in which this election is called. Take good care of yourself. Guard your health in the next week. Go early, because the process is likely to be longer than before with all of the cleaning and sanitizing that is likely to happen. They didn't make any provisions for longer hours for voting. Don't lose your right to vote because you turned up at the last minute.
A suggestion: Barbados needs a comprehensive national health and wellness plan now more than ever, is coming from Vice President of the Alliance Party for Progress and candidate for St. Philip West, Lynette Eastman. She says it must not focus only on the issues surrounding the COVID-19, but also on Barbadians taking their health more seriously.
The pandemic showed us that if we thought that health and wellness was a joke, it taught us that in order to protect ourselves from any of these viruses, the ones that have passed or the ones that will come, that this country has to focus on health and wellness. And that's not a soft topic. That's a hard topic. Because I honestly believe that if we were healthier, we would cut our healthcare bill significantly.
The Bajan Free Party, or BFP, says it's in the process of working out a plan that would see an increase in pensions for the elderly. That's according to candidate for Christchurch East Central, Jeanette Eiffel. Speaking during their spot meeting in Queensland, Ms. Eiffel said more needs to be done to help the older generation and vulnerable families. She also believes the transformation of the welfare department is key.
We are working on having increase in pensions for the elderly because the cost of living has gone up tremendously, and we want the elderly persons to be in a situation where they can live comfortably. We would like to restructure the welfare department, as in throughout the COVID time, persons have been added to the welfare system where they were given support from the welfare. Some of those persons no longer needs that coverage.
Well, that's our news in the morning until now. We'll have more news coming up at 12 noon in CBC Newsday and on radio at 8 o'clock this morning and again at 1 o'clock this afternoon. We'll take a break here and we're coming back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
12 minutes now after 7 o'clock. That's not where I should be, but I'm going to slip over there in just a moment. But 12 minutes after the hour, let's take a look now at our good Sibatalia. Just so magic. Do you remember, what was it? What was the name of that picture where she used to twinkle her nose? What was the name of that picture? Bewitched. Yes. And it would just happen. Whoosh. Look at how it just happened today. That's television for you. Well, let's get our good decision of the day now. A decision we hope that you can take seriously and give consideration to. And in making consideration of this, then hopefully it can make better relationships for you. So, we encourage you today to choose to communicate with your mouth and ears. The best way to strengthen relationships at work is through more communication, especially with your ears. Intentionally spend time with your colleagues and boss to learn more about them, their personal lives, what they're working on, what their interests and strengths are. This takes the skillful art and science of active listening. You do so by listening intently with the other person's needs in mind. You listen to the other person's story, searching conversations for depth, meaning, and understanding, the upside of you. You may identify opportunities for deeper connections, business or personal pursuits aligned with mutual interests, and, if you are a manager, opportunities for your employees to contribute more to other projects. So, today we shall choose to communicate with our mouth and our ears. Active listening, however, is absolutely critical. And a lot of this ties into what we were talking about when we've been talking with Joan Underwood, looking through our manager's first aid kit. We have to build relationships, but to do so, we must communicate. And to do so, there must be active listening. That's our good decision of today. Now, get ready to call me. Yeah, time for you to guess the location, guess the spot. Let's have some fun. So get next to your phone now. Call me on 228-5562 or 228-5563. I want to know how well you really know Barbados. We drive by, we walk by, we don't take time to pay attention to the little things that define that spot. And so we'll show you a picture, and if you can identify the spot, you give us a call and you tell us. There's no prize, it's just almost for bragging rights. But for sure, where is this? You have traveled this road before. You have traveled this road several times, but you've never seen it from this perspective, have you? I know. 228-5562 or 228-5563. So where in Barbados is this, and what a view? What a picture, what a perspective indeed. We have to thank our producer, Nadia Foster, who is brilliant on the camera as well, for doing this perspective. It is lovely. So tell me, where is this? Where truly is this? 228-5562 or 228-5563. And hopefully when you know the answer, you might yourself take a drive across, take a walk through and see it yourself. And then you go like, wow, this is beautiful. Did not know this was Barbados. Good morning to you. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm okay.
I can tell you do not know where this is. Where is it?
Is it, no, Cherry Tree Hill in St. Peter's?
You think so?
Yes, please.
Do you remember how that Cherry Tree Hill Road looks?
Yes, I do.
Does it have that kind of, I was going to say flooring. That's not flooring. Is the road made in that kind of material?
Yes.
Answer me.
Recently, yes. Yes, please.
What's that material this road in this picture is made of?
It's like something tiling look.
Does that look like concrete to you?
It is concrete.
And the road at Cherry Tree Hill is made from?
Pardon?
The road at Cherry Tree Hill is made of? Made
Concrete.
from what? Concrete? Cherry Tree Hill? Okay. But anyhow, the long and short is, you are wrong. Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Yes, bye-bye. I'm not being abusive for those of you who might think so. We're just having a little bit of fun. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Where is this location? Where? Call me now on 228-5562 or 228-5563. These kinds of things bring out the worst in my behavior. I'm so sorry for those of you. But so where is this? Where is this? When I tell you, you're going to go like, for true? My goodness. I didn't know. Because I didn't know either until today. So where is this? Good morning. Hello. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to your television. Don't listen to your television. Listen to me. So,
Okay,
hello.
Pearson.
Hi, where is it? How are you?
That is coming out of Farley Hill and going down the road to St. Andrew.
For true?
Yes.
When did you travel this road? Last?
I ain't traveled it recently, but that's where they think it is.
It is so wrong.
Is that?
Yeah, see there, I tell you you're wrong, you're questioning me. You are questioning me, even though I told you you're wrong.
Okay.
All right, have a good day. Thank you.
Okay.
She's wrong. I'm wrong? Yes, you're wrong. 228-5562 or 228-5563. Let's see if we can get somebody correctly identifying this location. You want a hint? No. Good morning. Hello.
Hi, good morning, Pearson.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm well. You sound very confident.
I
Let me hear
am
you.
trying to be. Is this the entrance to Providence Primary School in St. George?
I have no idea. Why would you tell me so?
Because it has I know the school is paved with concrete, and there are trees on either side.
And no other road in Barbados has roads paved in concrete with trees on either side?
I think so. Familiar to me.
So you live in St. George?
No, I don't.
So I don't understand. What are you doing on this road?
If I allow my clue, I have a friend who does exercises, and he runs the entrance to the school. So this looks like the place where he runs.
I understand. Your friend does the running, not you.
Yes.
And somehow you're able to identify where your friend runs?
He posts videos of him running up and down the hill. So this looks like that road.
This looks like that.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you're right. You're really paying attention to your friend's videos. Absolutely right. So next time your friend goes jogging, you should jog too. Okay?
I will try, yes.
All right. Thank you so much indeed.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Good. You're welcome indeed. That's the entrance to the Providence Secondary School. Now, there you go again with the questions. The what? The Providence Secondary School, yes. It's right there on the grounds of Francia Plantation in St. George. Built in the early 1900s, built from solid coral stone blocks. It survived a test of time. So if you're going to go by there near Francia Plantation in St. George, you will spot this. Or perhaps next time you do, look for this perspective. And then, oh yeah, I saw that on Morning Barbados. There it is, indeed. Thanks for playing, everybody. You've been good fun, as always. A break and we're coming back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
21 after 7 o'clock now. Are you struggling with your hair? You have some problems? You have some, well, there's someone who has strategies for solutions for you. And she's operating her own business here on the island. Her name is Gail Ann Beckles. Gail Ann Beckles is the owner and head stylist of Aquarius Creations Hair Salon. Good morning to you, Gail Ann.
Hi, good morning.
How are you doing today, Gail Ann?
I am fine, thank you.
Oh, you're
How
welcome.
are you?
I'm well, thank you. No, you don't have a hair problem. Your hair looks great. This is wonderful. But that's what you do. You provide solutions for people who are having challenges with their hair.
Could you repeat, please?
That's all right. So tell me a little bit about Aquarius, your business, Aquarius Creations Hair Salon.
Okay, so we are a salon that caters to all hair types, but we specialize in natural hair.
Oh, really? So why did you choose to specialize in natural hair?
Well, for me, it's something that grew on me after COVID when I realized that a lot of people transition to natural and then they struggle to find, the right products and the right hair regimen.
So clearly you studied the market and you found your space in the market, and that's what you decided to do, to provide products to help people who are managing their natural hair. And so what have you come up with? What are some of the solutions that your salon offers?
Well, we offer treatments. We offer the popular Olaplex treatment, which is a protein treatment designed to strengthen the hair against breakage and shedding. We also use it on all hair types, and the results are amazing. People who have it done usually always come back because they see the results and the benefits of it.
Generally, men have been wearing natural hairstyles for their lives, most men. So do you also get male clientele who come to you who have natural hair issues?
Yes, recently we have had a few males in, particularly having the Olaplex treatment done along with braids. Some do twists, and we also our hair oil. Men are also using it now for beards as well.
Ah, so where the stubble was, use it and it will work on it, fair enough.
Yes, it was stimulating follicles to produce growth.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of men are going to say this morning, boy, we got to get we hands on that, for sure. Where are you located?
Okay, so we're located on Pine Road, Belleville, St. Michael.
Mm-hmm. And are you easy to find? Can I, on the road, easily spot your location?
Could you kindly repeat, please?
I just want to know if I'm on the same Belleville Pine Road. Is it easy to say that's Aquarius, or would I have to really be searching to find you? Is there a sign somewhere?
No, no. Well, we have a white clientele now. So when we tell clients, well, we are located next to urgent care, they know the
Okay.
location because we recently moved in July, but the response has been great. So a lot of people know where to find us now.
How many years have you been doing this now?
Well, we started in 2018. I started part-time first, but then I went on full-time then in 2018.
hmm You know, making the decision to go into the business, the cosmetic business in which you operate, how did you come up with this decision to open your own salon? What pushed you in that direction?
I'm sorry, I am having problems with hearing. Could you kindly repeat, please?
No, I wanted to know what pushed you in the direction of opening your own salon.
Oh, I guess experiences. And, it was my dream from a child to have my own salon. So I started working for others from 2009, sorry. And I just gradually, had the experience and until it was my time for 2018.
Part of your time was that you also went to the UK to further your studies.
Yes, I did. That was really amazing.
Really, what was so amazing about it?
I guess because it was someplace that I never been. So, the whole experience of experiencing the new scenery, having gone to the academy and seeing the different types of, skills and stuff, it really was intriguing.
What have you learned about business and yourself that, you'd perhaps 12 years ago, you never thought for a minute that Gillan could be this kind of person?
Well, I always had faith in myself, I always knew that I would do it. It was just a matter of timing. But I think COVID actually cemented it for me.
So what do you think is the lesson out of your experience thus far that all of us and other young people like yourself can benefit from? What's that lesson you'd like to teach to someone today?
Okay, what I would say is, focus on you. Everyone has their own experiences. Everyone works at a certain pace. So just focus on you. Don't try to, look over someone else's fence to see what they're doing and see if you can do it. When you focus on you, try to perfect what you are doing. I think that builds growth and, you can go further from there.
But don't you think that's a little bit difficult sometimes not to pay attention to the competition on either side of you? Because that's natural. You're going to see it. So, going home every day knowing that there are other people in your space working in the same market that you work in who are doing this or doing that. And sometimes you question yourself, am I doing enough to be as like them? But you're saying, no, stay focused. Stay in your lane. Don't look over at somebody else's paling, so to speak.
Correct.
Boy, that's quite a lot. Now, in terms of business and your ability to run your own company, what kind of training, education did you have to operate your own business?
Well, if I heard you correctly, in 2006, I did a hair course here in Barbados. And then I, through my experiences and working in salons on the West Coast and the South Coast, I then agreed that it was time to take it to another level. So that's when I ventured to London then in 2017 to become internationally certified,
Right.
And it built my confidence level as well. So I would say that that more or less assisted me in where I am today.
I got that, but you are a master hairstylist now, having had the training. But business is now about the accounting. You got to deal with that. You have to pay the bills. You have to do a whole host of things. How prepared were you for that aspect of operating your business?
How prepared was I for what? Sorry?
I feel as if I have to lean into. So how prepared were you for operating your business from a financial perspective, working the books, making sure the books balance and that kind of thing?
Oh, wow. For me, when things were not so busy, I used to handle it on my own. I had a schedule, but when they got busier, and this is when we came back out from lockdown, the 3 months lockdown, I then hired an accountant. So he does that for me. Shout out to KOS Accounting Services.
All right, great. The business is called Aquarius Creations Hair Salon. You're available on Instagram at Aquarius Creations. And so if anybody wants to book, they can come see all of the styles. You can go onto the Instagram page and you see it for yourself from beginning to end, all of the magic of Gail Ann Beckles and the stylists at Aquarius Creations Hair Salon. Thank you so very much for joining us. All the best indeed. All the best, Gail Ann. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
You're very welcome indeed. It's 7:30. We're going to take a break here. We're back with more.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
When you speak of resilience, you speak of this next young man. And we're talking today to Antoine Boyce Vaughan, a Paralympian for Barbados, and his mother joins with him, Tonia Boyce, as well. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning indeed. Antoine, congratulations. Congratulations on so many fronts. One, in representing Barbados, and also in your receiving the recipient, being the recipient of the Resilience Individual Award in the recent Barbados Olympic Association's awards. How does it feel knowing that Barbados supports you as much as we do?
It feels very good.
Now, your story is one that it could break a heart, because it was only in 2018 when something happened. Talk to me about 2018. Paint the picture for us.
In 2018, I was diagnosed with osteosarcoma, and I lost my leg 1 week before my birthday.
Wow. Mummy, how did that feel to know your little baby boy had to go through all of this at that age?
It was a difficult period. It was heartbreaking. It's difficult to put in words the emotions that a parent would go through for being diagnosed with osteosarcoma, which is a very aggressive bone cancer. And yes, he was 17 years old when he was diagnosed, and to go through chemotherapy, it was very painful. One of the most difficult times in our lives. So, but we try to fight through it. We believe, we kept faith, we keep going strong. So the doctors and nurses at the QVA should have assisted us and, put us on a certain path to recovery. So which brings us to now.
Sometimes you want to give up, though, because here it is, when you hear the word cancer, that puts a certain kind of fear in you. And then you hear amputation too, a double dose. And so how did you press through, Mummy, first of all, Tonia, how did you press through to know, I now have to switch up because I have to support my son? I have to show him that life doesn't end here. How did you deal with that?
Yes, I did have to do that. I mean, Antoine never saw it. I cried a lot. I prayed a lot. It was very, very difficult. But I believe that I had to be strong for him and, let him know that this is not the end game. This is not the end of the world. To persevere, to keep strong, and to keep believing and going on. I could remember when they were taking him or prepping him for surgery, And they said to him, Antoine, you know you're going to lose your leg, but God is going to give you wings. And I somehow I keep remembering that statement all the time. You're going to lose your leg, but God is going to give you wings. And I think the opportunities and things that he had since then, we've met through our journey, all the prayers and all the inspiration and all the support that we had through that journey also played a part in his recovery.
Antoine, when you hear your mother speak the way she's speaking this morning and the lengths to which she's been in support of you, how do you feel?
I feel happy and makes me proud that I have a mother like this. A mother always supports me.
Yeah, because you know there's some young men your age who don't have the same benefit of having a mother like your mother.
Yes.
You know, a mother who pushes you. Antoine, how different today do you feel?
What do you mean?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
How do you mean? Like,
I don't. I mean, you knew yourself when you were 17, standing tall, running around like all the other boys, and today you stand tall differently. How different do you feel?
I feel more active now because even when I had my leg, I didn't really used to go outside that often. But since I lost, I swim more, I go to the beach more. I just get to see a lot more people and I talk to a lot more people.
Really? What is it that caused you to do to switch up in that kind of way?
Pardon?
What was it? You said that now that you've had the amputation, you are doing more. You're going out more. You're a lot more social. You're swimming more. Why? Why did you adopt that approach and that attitude?
I guess I just need to experience this, need to go out more and just do more stuff.
Yes.
Why you being true?
I was constantly training, so I was constantly leaving the house and going to the beach and talking to people and meeting new people.
So you just continue being you, and that's the whole point. You remain resilient. You just continue being you. So the day came when you were asked to compete on behalf of Barbados on the Bobby smiling already at the international level. How was that for you, Antoine? When you were told it's you we want to go to represent Barbados?
It was actually surprising because I didn't train it. I wasn't training that alone. And knowing that I actually trained and I could go to Tokyo was actually very grateful. I was grateful for that.
Yeah. Mommy, how about you when the news came?
Well, I was ecstatic. I pretty much knew that that was the path he was on after a while. Antoine started swimming just in January 2020. And we started that activity because of the amputation. And we're using it for rehabilitation. And I also wanted him to get out there and get involved. He said he was the type of individual who would not do much or, not get out the house. So I didn't want this young boy now to lose his leg and be home and mopey and stuff like that.
Yes.
I wanted him to get out and see that there is a lot of life to live. There are things that you can do. It's not the end of the world. You still have your life. Yes, you may have lost a limb, but you can still do. People with and disabilities are very, very resilient people. Yes, you may have to work a bit harder now, but it is still possible. So we grabbed the opportunity. Then his processes, Suzanne Watts asked about swimming. Antoine did not want to swim. Honestly, he did not. She asked me and she said, I know you can say yes. And I did say yes. And I said, Antoine, do you want to swim? No. I said, well, you're going, so we going and swim. And there it was like, working with Adele, his coach, she's a wonderful, she is very knowledgeable in her craft. So we have to kudos to Adele for pushing Antoine to the limits and, having the opportunity. And this time was exciting. Mm-hmm. It was a journey. It was tiring being at the beach 6 o'clock in the mornings because the aquatic center is closed.
Yes.
And he didn't have the opportunity to really swim in the pool much. Mm-hmm. We used the ocean, which means that Antoine didn't have skills like the other swimmers or other performers or Olympians, you know, in terms of pushing off the blocks, turning in the water, those things that we now have to work on. He didn't, and he only had a week to do that stuff.
Wow.
He only had a week to learn all of that, and I think for someone that did not know how to swim, he pulled out all the stops, in my opinion.
Yes.
He improved on his personal best time, which was like 41 before he left Barbados, to 37, and that was a tremendous feat. I remember watching that video that we're playing right now, and you know, thinking, with this boy walking onto this pool deck, and he seems so calm, and I am so nervous and at the edge of my seat and scared, and but he was just doing it. I guess that is his personality. He, you know, you ask Antoine the hard question, he say, "I normal, I normal. I just, you know, I just doing it." And he honestly tries, you know, with his swimming and stuff like that. And he also expressed, you know, he want to keep at it, and he want to go Birmingham to compete in the Commonwealth Games. So kudos to Olympics Barbados and the VOA, you know. Really did tremendous work, Antoine, in trying to get stuff prepared for Tokyo and stuff like that. And, you know, there's Martin Jadel Price, and thanks to Tokyo, because there's a Tokyo team that worked with the Barbados contingent and the Latin Americas, you know, in regards to preparing swimmers and athletes. They did tremendous work. We have bi-weekly Zoom meetings with coaches and, you know, people that can put you on the path and give you advice, tricks, and that was such an experience. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience.
Wow.
When Antoine first left Barbados for swimming in April to be classified, he's now a C9. You know, they met up with some of the people we had met via Zoom, and it was a tremendous experience for him. I did not have the opportunity to go, but you know, I heard all the stories. Yeah, and I watched it after.
You know, I'm hearing a very, very proud mother. And that is such a beautiful thing to hear. You know, a lot, people are talking about your mom. You are a tower of strength and inspiration indeed, not just for your son, but to all of us watching today, you know, that you've stuck by him. And he clearly, because I mean, there's so many, he looks at you. This is clearly your child, you know, and he sticks by you in the way he sticks by you as well. Antoine, when you landed in Tokyo, and what was that experience like, getting to meet new people, to experience a new culture? What was that like for you?
It was exciting. I got to see a new place. Japan was very beautiful and wonderful. I got to see my friends that I saw at the Texas what it was again? Classifications. It was really good. I got to swim in a very big pool. It was very good.
In a very big pool. I like the way you said that. But so what do you want, Antoine, out of life now going forward? When you look down the road, what does Antoine want for Antoine?
I just want to continue swimming and probably look at other sports to join, like to part in, like cycling or archery or running.
Personally.
Yes. And personally? Mommy prompted you.
Personally,
So what about you, Tanya? What do you want? Tony, what do you want for your son? And what do you want all of us in society to know about your son so that we can continue to support him?
Okay. Antoine, I think he has a really great ahead of him as long as he's healthy and, you know, strong. As I said to him before, all battles begin in your mind. And I had to say this to him early on when he was first diagnosed. It was a scary time, and I had to be very confident and be, you know, show a lot of faith in front of Antoine for him to have the strength to come out this journey, because we knew that it was not going to be like a 2 week illness.
Yes.
For his future, Antoine is a very skilled individual. He's very artistic. He does painting and that. He's very interested in auto mechanics or mechanical engineering. Um, he's going to be pursuing to get his license shortly.
Mm.
Um, and he definitely is going to continue the road of swimming. And as he said, he's interested in other disciplines, taking part in the Paralympics. So we're looking forward to that and those opportunities. And as an individual, I think that he knows now that life has just begun and it's not over until the fat lady sings. So, we are definitely going to pursue. We're here to support and help both us and encourage.
Wow. That's so beautiful indeed. To have a mother say that to her son and to say that about her son. What I want really is for Barbadians not to see him as being different. He's just like anybody else with the same abilities as anyone else. As a matter of fact, he's an Olympian. I'm not. I am not. He's gone farther than me when it comes to that kind of thing, and being resilient in what he wants to achieve. He has a passion and he has goals like everyone else. Let's support him and Antoine achieving all that he wants to achieve. As his mother is his wings and she is his wind beneath his wings, so can all of us indeed. Antoine, we wanted to talk to you for so long. When we first saw that you had achieved what you achieved at the Olympics, we wanted to reach out to you every long time since, as we say, but I'm glad that we did get the opportunity to connect with you indeed, because we are so proud of all that you've achieved, Antoine, and we are proud to know that you will achieve even more. And we want to be there as part of your success, Antoine. Don't ever doubt it for 1 second. You can do it. You can do it. And Mummy, thank you so much for supporting your son. You are a very proud, strong woman, and it is important that you stick by him for him to be able to achieve all that he has to achieve. And there's a lot for him to achieve. Thank you both for joining us this morning. All the best going forward.
Thank you. And I must say, thanks goes out to DJ Chili, Omar Chili Jordan,
Yes.
for pursuing this interview and stuff for us. I must say thank you. I'm grateful to him. I'm very grateful to everyone who supported Antoine, even if it was just watching. I know Barbados was rallied around him when he was at the Olympics. Thanks to all the doctors, the nurses, everyone who played part in his recovery. And my greatest gratitude to everyone.
Indeed. When you get a chance, go on to our social media page, Mornin Barbados or CBC Barbados, and read the comments. It will inspire you. They're all there, very good comments. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You're welcome indeed.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. What a beautiful family, isn't it? The Boyces. Antoine Boyce Vaughan and his mother, Tonia Boyce, indeed, a Paralympian. He won the award for being resilient, award of his resilience with the Barbados Olympic Association. We're going to take a break right here, and we're coming back with even more on Morning Barbados. 11 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. Another young man using sport to leverage his abilities and to really conquer the world. This time his name is Akari Sydney. He's a footballer, and I know, Akari who? Good morning to you, Akari Sydney.
Good morning, Mr. Pearson One.
Now,
good morning, Barbados.
Good morning indeed. Sydney is your last name, right?
Yes, Sydney is my last name.
There are people who are going to ask, but that is not a traditional Barbadian name. Where'd that come from?
It is not. It is not. My father's mother is from St. Lucia, and that's how we got that last name.
Okay. So you own your heritage, right?
Yes.
Indeed.
Yes.
I mean, it's
born and
unique.
raised in Barbados, though.
It
Yeah,
makes
born and
you
raised in
unique.
Barbados.
Indeed, no problem. So here you are, you're a footballer with the Barbados Soccer Academy, and
Yeah.
you are an outstanding footballer, so much so that opportunities have come your way. And what kinds of opportunities have come your way thus far?
Well, for starters, I've had coaches emailing me out of interest, and honestly, I've been on tour with Mr. Bavel, and I've been able to network with all the coaches on the tour, and it's been a great experience.
Fantastic. You're only 18 years old. 18. How long have you been playing the game now?
Well, I've only been playing it for 8 years now, because originally I was into judo and I competed in some international tournaments. But then I was intrigued by how much talk was around football, and these players traveled all the time. So I was as a kid, they love traveling. So I said, why not just give it a try? So I gave it a try, and look where I am now.
You're traveling.
Yeah, I am.
So at least that's one tick right there. I'm traveling. I wanted to travel, and football is taking me places.
Yep, that's one tick.
Where have you traveled to, and where has football taken you?
Well, before I met Mr. Bavel, I've traveled with Kickstart to New York and Long Island to participate in some practice matches. And also, too, I've traveled with Mavericks to Atlanta to play a couple of practice matches and some tournaments as well. So, I've had some experience in traveling, but yeah, it's been great.
Now, I know Mr. Bavel will tell you, as with the Barbados Soccer Academy, there has to be a balance between academics and sports. It's not one or the other, it's a balance of the two.
Yes.
So how has that discipline helped you to remain focused, to achieve in both?
Well, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard, I will not lie, because you have to know when it's time to play and when it's time to not play. You have to give your all to your studies, or else what's the point? To be honest, every night I used to do SAT classes with Mr. Ravel, actually, and he always used to push us. I got a score of 1240 out of 1600, and I'm looking to do it over again. Because I want to travel to MIT.
All right.
Next year or so.
Nice. So what's the goal here? You want to go to MIT. What do you want to become?
I've been looking down the road of mechanical engineering or either nursing, because I know England is calling for a lot of nurses. So after US, I plan to go to England again.
And explore the opportunities there. Now, you're a student at Queen's College. School must be finished for you now, isn't it?
Yeah. Originally, I was at Queen's College, but then I was blessed with the opportunity, thanks to Mr. Moore and my guidance counselor at Queen's College. They told me about a scholarship opportunity to go to Dollar Academy in Scotland. And I finished my 2 years of high school there. And I was able to gain some certificates such as advanced hires and hires.
Oh, congratulations indeed. My man, you're going places indeed. Now, football,
Thank you.
The discipline of football is one that can, in a second, change because of an injury. Just an injury.
Yes.
So how do you keep yourself fit enough so that you are fit enough to fit into anywhere at all on the field?
Well, I would always go to the gym. I have gym trainers that keep me in shape, especially the coaches, Coach Carl Hinkson and Coach Danny. They were always keeping us in fit on the tour, especially making us do exercises when we got to the gym at the hotel. And, even when I'm not around those guys, I would always try to get in some exercises as best as I possibly can, Doesn't have to be every day, but yeah.
You know, young people yourself, you know, I was going to say you're much younger than I am. You eat differently, you know, and sometimes you don't want to eat the right things because, yeah, you want to live. It tastes better to eat the other thing. Do you have that kind of a challenge when it comes to your diet?
No, no, I don't have that challenge.
So you're very disciplined.
Because, I've gotten to the stage now where I know what my body wants, and if I don't know what my body wants, then I won't take it. You know, if I want water, I'll drink gallons of water a day.
Wow,
you know,
that's so good to hear. In terms of inspiration and support from your relatives, though, you know, it's all well and good. Again, Queen's College, your man. So there's a time for studying, your boy. So put down that football and get into your house and get into your books. Did you have that kind of conversation with your parents at points in time?
Yes, so Mr. Pearson, yes, so there were many times where I underperformed in my academics, and my mother would always threaten me and tell me she would take me in soccer. But you know, my dad and my sister would always have that sympathy for me and say, "Well, no, don't do that." And you know, I've always had the support. I've never felt like I don't have the support from my relatives, and especially from my friends. You know, even from at Dollar Academy and in Barbados too as well. They've always given me the support. You know. To carry on, and they've always given me that motivation I needed.
Wow, this is great. So what advice would you give to young boys or even girls, because I mean there's girls female football too. So what advice would you give to a parent today and to that child who just wants to play the game, who just loves the game?
Well, if you love the game, then you should live, breathe, and eat it too, as well as sleep it. Because that's what my father says that I do all the time. I just live, breathe, sleep, and eat it. So I just say that. But you can never forget your academics. That's very crucial and that's very important.
And to the parent?
And to the parent, you know, just don't force them if they don't want to do it. But if they really want to do it, you have to push them. You have to motivate them in the morning when they don't want to get up at 6 in the morning. Because especially on tour, we used to be. It was very hectic. We had to get up at like 4 in the morning. We had to eat properly, sleep properly. You know, do all these things that a professional would do.
There's a tremendous amount of discipline clearly in all of this. Now, the experience at the Barbados Soccer Academy, you know, their parents were hunting around because they have the little boy who wants to play the game, but he doesn't know what programs to get into. Tell us on the benefits of enrolling with the Barbados Soccer Academy.
Well, the first benefit is that Mr. Pavel brings warmth to the team. You will never feel uncomfortable, especially if you're someone like me who's not really outspoken. Like it feels like a family, you know. And that's the first benefit for me that stood out immediately. Secondly, the academics, as I said, I mentioned again, you will always hear me talking about academics, but yeah, that's what he enforces, you know.
Yes. So, you know, you say you're not outspoken. You speak very fluently, very well, very engaging indeed. Well done to the program in helping you with that. Now, who's your favorite footballer and why?
Ooh, my favorite footballer is Lionel Messi because I am also a left footer, but you know, as I've gained this experience over the years in football, I've been watching Messi and I've seen like his change in direction and the way how he just is so fluent. It's like a river, you know.
Yes.
It just flows on the field. Just
yes,
you know?
yes. That's what you want to be. That's what you want to be. And your favorite football team?
Barcelona. Although we lost yesterday, it's still Barcelona.
So you know, you can hear my technical director. He's telling you, boo, you know, bad team.
Yeah.
But you know, here we are watching a little bit of your skill on the field and your ability with the ball. This is fantastic. Quite a discipline indeed. Even at 18 years old, the sky is literally your limit, or perhaps a goal post. But you know, whatever you choose to do, it tells me, Akari, that you're disciplined enough, you're smart enough to be able to achieve it. And we want today to salute you as one of our exceptional young people. Continue doing what you're doing, and you're doing it very well, Akari. Thank you.
Thank you much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr.
You're welcome indeed. We're going to watch his progress. We have to go now, but thank you for joining us this morning, all right?
Okay, before we go, I'd just like to say a special thanks to the Honorable Dwight Sutherland. I'd also like to say a special thanks to Mrs. Howard, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Sports, Youth and Empowerment. I'd also like to say thank you very much to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for helping to secure non-immigration visas for the boys. And I'd also like to thank the COVID unit for allowing us to train and in preparation for the tour. It's been very great, you know. And
Big
lastly,
thanks for the full support. Thanks a lot, buddy. Thank you, Akari. Thank you so much. All right, folks, that's it for today. We do thank you for joining us, indeed. On behalf of my producer, Nadia Foster, our technical director, Ruel Ford, sound engineer has been Philip Hayes. Couldn't remember who it was. And Master Controller Zoom has been to Misha Green. We thank you. Yes, I'm getting old. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, Friday. Take care now. Have a good day.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you.